Movie and Music Network. Offering underground, pop, and esoteric cinema. Discover more at movieandmusicnetwork.com.
Hi, I'm Salim, and I'm here with Kevin and Rachel. We're here to discuss the nominees for Best Supporting Actor and Actress. Kevin, who do you think is going to win for Best Actor?
Actor who I want to win is actually somebody who wasn't nominated. Channing Tatum. Why was he not nominated for Foxcatcher? But Ruffalo was nominated, Carell was nominated, but it was Channing Tatum's movie.
It was.
In fact, he should have been Best Actor nominee. And no one talks about him. And it boggles my mind because when I was watching the movie, there was no buzz on him, and through the whole thing, I was like, he's just amazing. And I've never seen him play a character like this before. So I kind of want him to win, but clearly he's not nominated, so he can't. So I would say Ethan Hawke for Boyhood, mostly because, 12 years you have to stay in character. Every time you have to be kind of where you were the year before, and you kind of need to know where your character's going and where he's been, and that's difficult to do. And he was consistent throughout. I was never a huge fan of his until pretty much this movie, and then I really saw kind of the layers and the depth that he brought to it.
I did like Ethan Hawke, but the only reason I'm not going to say that he should win is because I felt like J.K. Simmons just kind of stole the show from Miles Teller, who's already amazing in Whiplash. The movie was fantastic. It was great to see that duo, but I felt like J.K. Simmons just had such a presence that you couldn't help it to just follow him the entire, even though he was this evil guy, this terrible person. I mean, that's the thing.
Yeah, that's the thing. He walks the line.
Walks the line. This guy who's genius or maniacal, you don't really know. Is what he's doing really detrimental or helpful to people?
Is he a passionate teacher, or is he, just this horrible person who's trying to break people down?
Yeah, and I like those questions because I didn't know how to feel about it. By the end of it, I really didn't know how I should feel about this guy, and I enjoyed that. And I think that's the reason why I think that he's going to win, just because he had more of a presence. But I do agree, Ethan Hawke, 12 years, that's fantastic.
I believe, yes, J.K. Simmons will win. To figure out who I wanted to win was really tough, because I was thinking, Ethan Hawke, he does a great job, but he's not asked to do that much. And then Ed Norton, it just felt like that was very easy for him. It's just sort of him doing his
basically
thing.
Being himself.
Yeah,
which is fun because I really enjoy, because when you finish watching Birdman and you kind of come to that conclusion that he's just basically playing a version of himself. Yeah. It's kind of funny because Ed Norton.
He's able
that
to make fun of himself a little bit. He's there's a little bit of levity to that, which is cool.
Yeah.
And then Robert Duvall. I loved his performance up until about halfway through the movie. And then the writing, I think, kind of hurts him a little bit, because the writing becomes a little bit schmaltzy, and it's just hard for him.
I agree.
But I thought his performance up until, there's a court scene, up until that part was just really well done. He has to play a very sick man, and he doesn't get sentimental about it. And at first I was thinking, okay, here we go. But then the second half of the movie, the writing doesn't help him out. I mean, I think the person who I would maybe want to win, if not JK, would be Mark Ruffalo, just because he was so subtle and he did so much with very few lines. And just the love for his brother, and he had a very unusual character where he had sort of an enemy interaction, with Steve Carell's character, but he kept all of that kind of bottled in, but you knew what he was thinking. And that to me was a very haunting performance. But I still sort of feel like it's kind of a runner-up performance to what J.K. Simmons did.
And it's very much what Mark Ruffalo does all the time.
Yeah.
But we've kind of mentioned Best Supporting Actress. I mean, I'll start. I think who should win and also will win is probably Patricia Arquette. From the first time I saw Boyhood at Sundance, I was just blown away, mainly because there's so much going on in this movie, and it's kind of hard for someone to kind of really be any kind of focus, because it's obviously about boyhood, but she actually has the most emotional resonance in the film. She goes through the most, she actually has the most change, she actually, makes a lot of mistakes, that kind of affect the family, and what I love is just seeing by the end of the movie, it really felt like it not just affected the character, but it affected the actress. This actress became this person and went through every bit of the journey that everybody else did, but I felt like it affected her a little bit more.
She had a monologue
at
the end
monologue
where she just goes, "Is
fantastic.
this it?
Yeah.
I thought there would be more."
Yeah.
And you watch that, and I mean, to me, it is supposed to be about the boy, but this movie to me just felt like it was just such a life journey of watching people grow. And that moment to me, I was just like, oh God.
Yeah. It it should have been called Motherhood. In a way, because even though they focused on the boy, it really was, it all came down to her at the end.
It did.
And that was the thing that got me at the end, was her just letting them go.
Yeah. And it was such a scene where it was just very quiet. The kid's kind of talking in the background as he's getting ready for college, and she just kind of breaks down, and you kind of know it, but then her kind of vocalizing it in such a way that I don't think I've heard before, where she's just like, "This is it."
Yeah.
Similarly, actually, I think Patricia Arquette's going to win too, and I think she deserves to win. I have a soft spot for Laura Dern in anything she does.
Okay.
I love Laura Dern, but in the same way, Laura Dern in Wild, I felt like for a while she was so like upbeat and happy all the time. It seemed one note.
Yeah.
But there was that scene at the dinner table where she asked her, she's like, "Why you like this all the time?" And she just turns around and says, "I'm not," and then has that kind of mini
this
monologue.
is all you can do.
Right. And I was like, that she won me over right there. I was like,
Yeah.
she's great.
I think, I mean, what was funny to me was sort of the people who are probably winning these supporting actor and actress awards are the people who had the bigger supporting roles. I mean, it is hard, looking over all of these different nominees, some of them have so little to work with. Like Laura Dern has so little screen time that at first I was like, oh, she's nominated? I mean, cool, and she did a great job, and if she had more screen time, I'd be more likely to consider her. Yeah, I mean, for Patricia, it's just like each time that she's going through one horrible man after the next, she has very few lines, and you just get these camera angles on her where she's almost blank-faced, so it's hard to, but you can still see everything kind of coming through that.
Of course. Yeah, I mean, she has like lines where she's like, well, I just like making mistakes over and over again.
Yeah.
And it's just like, she understands, and it's just such good levity.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers.
To my favorite Best Supporting Actor and Actress.
Thank you.
It's the end, guys.
Jeez.
Last cheers.